Howdy, and welcome back. I'm Steven, and this is FWP Reviews. Today is the fateful day, the oh-so-fateful day, Valentine's Day. So I decided we'll take a look at one of the most classic romances in history, Scott Pilgrim and Ramona Flowers. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is directed by Edgar Wright, and it is by far one of his best. It stars Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Brandon Routh, Brie Larson, Alison Pill, Jason Schwartz, Aubrey Plaza, Anna Kendrick, and Chris Evans. And those are just the ones I can do from memory. This cast assembles for an excellent movie where we see Scott Pilgrim, a bass guitarist, have to fight off his new love's 7 evil exes in order to continue to be with her. It carries the charm that the video game it's based off of is known for, and the absurdity that Edgar Wright is known for. With that, I present Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. The filmmaking in this movie is some of the most creative and most distinctive I have ever seen in my movie viewing history. The first and most obvious thing that comes to my mind is the visuals. There are plenty of nameable and distinct visuals. First few that come to mind are Todd's crazy anime hair, the video game style visuals, the way we see these weird sound waves coming off of the instruments, and most importantly, the 2 giant astral projected animals fighting it out to the death. The visuals in this movie are creative, and they also capture the video game spirit of the movie. The great visuals make the extremely chaotic and entertaining action even more fun to watch. The cinematography also manages to amplify the creative style that the visuals are pushing forth. The camera moves quick, and so do the characters. The set design also really helps capture this spirit. What comes to mind really is that final fight scene in that weird looking nightclub that slightly resembles a video game level for some reason. I think the sets are designed really effectively, and they really help perpetrate this video game spirit. This movie gets really meta, and you can really see that in the set design. The characters in this movie are extremely absurd, but they're incredibly special to the story. Although I do feel that some of the characters could have been fleshed out just a little bit more. The 7 evil exes are obviously the staple of this movie, and some are better than others, I would say. Todd is by far one of the most entertaining exes we see. His vegan-induced anime-style powers are absolutely hilarious. The fight scene with him has some of the best action in the movie, as well as it closing with the best joke in the entire movie.
Freeze! Vegan police! Vegan police! Todd Ingram, you're under arrest for veganity violation.
You once were a vegan, but now you will be gone.
I think one of the more absurd and entertaining fights that's really special because it's a little different than the rest of the movie was the fight between Roxy and Ramona. It was extremely well crafted, there were some great jokes, and Ramona's giant hammer was just amazing. I, as many people might agree, need to see Chris Evans play Lucas Lee in an entire movie from start to finish. The love story between Ramona and Scott Pilgrim is one for the ages. It is really entertaining to watch their love story and the themes surrounding it play out against the most absurd and entertaining movie of all time. The sheer creativity we see put into the filmmaking is what makes this one of the best films ever made. There are a few strong themes floating around this movie. Most, if not all of them, are pertaining to the L word. Lesbian.
I do not understand.
I do. I understood that reference.
In a romantic movie for the ages, you have to have some strong themes about love. Despite this movie's utterly chaotic storyline, it manages to squeak in a few very effective themes. What are these themes, you may be asking? To that I would say, be patient. I'm getting to it. Speaking of patience, love is patient. Love is kind. Is all out the window. Here, we're seeing a whole new type of love. The themes about love in this movie are more reflective than you might expect. The most prevalent of these is how we see the handling of love in different situations play out. It effectively puts forth that nobody is really special for being in a relationship. This may sound harsh, but it's a fact of life that often goes unnoticed. Just goes unnoticed. It particularly reflects well on this when talking about how you're not special for getting broken up with or breaking up with someone. Breakups hurt, they suck, but everybody does them at some point. Just because you went through something that everybody else did doesn't mean you're special all of a sudden. There are also a lot of effective themes about confronting your past or your mistakes. You literally cannot run from things forever. They're part of who you are, so what's the point in hiding that to avoid a little bit of temporary shame? Not hiding from the past isn't enough though. The past is what leads you to the present. On the other hand though, you can't spend your time reveling in your past. The characters in this movie that aren't actively trying to run away from their past are spent reveling in it, and they're forgetting about the present, but the past should be what pushes you into the present. There are a few themes that pertain more to dating than they do to love. Whoever you date is a part of what makes you you. Yes, you're your own person, but who you associate with defines who you are though, so dating obviously logically follows that, and it puts that forth really well. What seems like the perfect girl obviously isn't always the perfect girl. The third and final theme relating to this is that you don't date people whose names are small hand weapons. I feel like that might be obvious, but we didn't see that clearly in the movie, did we? One of the final themes is that there's always two sides to a story. Everybody knows this, everybody has heard this, everybody has had this beaten over their head, but this movie does a really good job of handling that theme effectively. This theme plays out as we see the different character interactions, and it's really effective to watch unfold in this movie. These effective themes play out against the absurd background that is this movie, and they all blend relatively effectively. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is an essential movie. I believe that you would be pretty hard stretched to find somebody who disagrees. The many reasons for this start with how well the movie blends so many different elements. It puts the largest handful of most absurd and bizarre movie elements I have ever seen into one seamlessly effective and entertaining package. It is brutally entertaining and surprisingly heartfelt. The storyline, the characters, the filmmakings, and everything else about this movie just feels so invigoratingly original. I believe it'll be a long time until we see a movie this good and this absurd at the same caliber ever again, if at all. I laughed, I teared up, I had an amazing time rewatching this movie. Rewatching it, I fell in love with it all over again. Perhaps that's the real love story of this movie. That is why Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is an essential movie to me. With that, I'll wrap this video up. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is one of the most refreshing movies I have ever seen. It features an amazing love story and some pretty absurd story elements. It's a movie for the ages and I highly recommend it. I'll see you all next week for a video on the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Until then, follow my Instagram at FWP Reviews 100 for daily written reviews. With that, this is FWP Reviews signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.